The countdown is on until it becomes mandatory for Victorians to wear masks out in public. A Liberal Democrats MP is angry at the state government for making it compulsory. David Limbrick joins us now. And David, this was put in place to stop community transmission. It doesn't only work if it's mandatory that everybody does it.
I don't think that's the case at all. We've seen masks used to great effect in other countries such as Japan, and they haven't made it mandatory. In fact, we've seen Victoria, they've issued more fines for infringements than any other state in the country, and yet we have the worst results. I don't think the government's learnt yet that you can't fine your way out of a pandemic.
But this has been proven elsewhere. You say it's not mandatory in other countries, but wearing masks does work and will get us out, hopefully, of this lockdown sooner, wouldn't it?
Masks are absolutely a great recommendation. So, I think that the government should have recommended months ago that we use masks like we've seen in other countries. But making them mandatory is a step too far, because otherwise we're going to have police going around all over the place trying to police this. We have problems with shops and retail staff in shops having to worried about enforcing this sort of thing. I would rather that instead of handing out fines, the police are handing out masks.
But doesn't this continue the spread of the disease? If everybody isn't wearing one, then potentially they're carrying the disease and spreading it.
If we're not sure that, having this type of enforcement is actually going to be sustainable. When you have a policy like this, where you're asking people to wear masks in public, you have to get buy-in. You have to educate people and bring them on the journey. You can't just go straight in with the big stick of fines. It will breed resentment. We're already seeing that. There's already groups that have started organising against this sort of thing. I think it's very much the wrong approach that the government's taking. I want to see education and voluntary compliance, not trying to fine our way out of a pandemic.
Your stance, though, doesn't it feed into that crazy conspiracy theory that's existing out there?
Not at all. I don't claim that there's any problem with wearing masks. I think that they are effective. And I think that the government having this sort of enforcement will necessarily have some sort of backlash. People don't like being bullied around by government. They want to be able to make their own decisions and be respected like adults. And if you provide people with good information, the majority of people will listen to that and make their own decisions themselves.
I'm sure it's going to be a debate that continues. David Limbrick, really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.